Jake here. I've had a lot of people asking me recently if they can review some of my sales calls. Of course, I've been a high ticket closer for a while now and been in the sales space for over a decade. Now, normally I only leave call reviews for my one-to-one client. But on this occasion, I had a good conversation with a prospect not too long ago that, did I close? Didn't I close? Who knows? You're going to have to watch and find out. But I'm also reviewing this call. There are bits that I would have certainly improved on if I could take time back, if I could have done it a little bit differently. And there are also things that I did very, very well. But have a pen and paper ready, maybe. Take notes. And look, if you can take any tips and tricks from this sales call and implement them into your script, your sales calls, if it ends up with you getting extra commission, happy days. That's what I'm here for.
This question is a really, really good question because it's not surface level, it's deep, yeah, and it requires quite a personal answer.
Why now, Eduardo, if you don't mind me asking? Well, why now?
Just, I don't know, just the circumstances. It's better now than ever, isn't it? I mean, well, to be honest, like what triggered is
Eduardo had a bit of a wake-up call. After being settled with a job for over 10 years, he's kind of realized there's more to life than just working the 9-to-5 grind. Now, he's really focused on building a property portfolio to, gain that financial freedom and flexibility he's been craving. He's just tired of being tied to the system, and he wants to create a life where he's in charge, earning passive income and spending more time with his family. Honestly, smart move, mate.
Yeah, I hear that and I love that, and I can relate a lot to that as well because it's exactly what I did. But I was years in the corporate world, same as yourself, working a 9-to-5, and I just kind of wanted more time. But forgive me, it's quite a change to leave a property that you own and then come down to a completely different location and rent.
I probably said a little bit too much there because this guy, as you could tell straight off the bat, he is a chatterbox. Like he talks a lot. Jordan Belfort talks about not letting your prospects go off to Pluto. And even by me kind of engaging in that conversation, it just doubles the length of the time of this sales call. So I probably would have kept it straight to the point. And maybe if I'd have been more direct, I probably would have got a more direct answer because as you can see, this guy does talk quite a lot.
Now that Eduardo got his feet under the table and, is really focused on his community, I kind of wanted to dig a bit deeper into when the property bug, actually bit him. So I asked...
But becoming an entrepreneur, I mean, because you could have just gone down there, just got a new job and kind of been content. How long have you wanted to, let's say, get into property and build a portfolio? How long have you wanted to do that?
I'll be honest with you, mate, like I'm originally from Brazil. And my father always been an entrepreneur. He started working since he was 12. Because things in Brazil are a lot harder, especially 50 years ago. So my dad started working since he was 12, and then he done.
By asking that question there, like how long have you wanted to get into property? How long have you wanted to do this? All I'm trying to establish there is how long and why is it taking him so much to reach? Why is it taking him so much time to reach out for help? Like ultimately, if you can get an answer to that question, and it's like, I've wanted to do this for 5 years, you can use that against them when you come to the close. When it's like, I want to think about it, you would have written down that they've thought about doing this anyway for 5 years. And I would say something like, well, what's this going to be? Another 5 years? You're going to another 5 years of your life pass you by before you actually take action, before you actually work towards changing your life? That is why you would ask a question like that.
Then he goes on to talk about how he's, always had the hustle, learning the game from his dad, flipping everything from houses to PlayStations, but with a family to support, he couldn't just, pack in the 9-to-5. Now that he's looking to break free, I asked him...
So are you currently working a 9-to-5 as well?
Yeah, I work from actually 8.
Short, sweet, straight to the point. What are you currently doing? Monday to Friday, what are you currently doing?
7:30 to 5, so it's actually more hours now. But yeah.
Okay, you're spinning quite a lot of plates there, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I work from 7:30 to 5. That's Monday to Friday. That's my main job, my main income. And then obviously I do my personal work for the church on Sundays and every Sunday, pretty much, for quite a lot of hours. I want to have more time for myself and my family.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
7:30 till 5 every day is very long.
I know.
You got you're a family man as well, as I can see. Of course, you've got the church there as well, and you're trying to become an entrepreneur and get further involved in property. And by the sounds of it, you're managing at least 2 sets of tenants.
Yeah.
How is that impacting you?
Well, I mean, it's doable.
Great question. First and foremost, ask for permission. And by asking permission to ask a personal question, you're going to receive a personal answer. It's not going to be you're about to ask a deep question. It's not surface level. So you will get a deep answer. It won't be surface level. So many closers are asking surface level questions, getting surface level answers. And then you wonder why you get hit with, oh, I've got to think about it at the end, because you haven't connected with them. You haven't dug deep and got that emotion out. People buy with logic, but people also buy with emotion. Remember that. Great question there.
And then he goes on to talk about the, sacrifices he's made since stepping into a voluntary ministry role, juggling a really demanding new job with his commitment to, helping the youth. It's been tough, but his faith has really kept him going.
Probably one of the main things that I want to, get out of a 9 to 5, get out from the job and work for myself, have more time, get more money, so I can then give it back to the community and my family a lot more time.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, with the right mindset, guidance and support, especially if it's support from God, you can do anything in the world, right? So yeah, 100% I can respect that.
That's mirroring there. This guy is obviously deeply religious. He's a pastor. You notice he references God and his relationship with God, and it's God's way, everything that he does in life. So by mirroring him, and you'll notice that I refer to God and God's way, God willing, a lot of terms like that. I'm just mirroring the prospect here. I'm talking his language. Yeah, repeating the same thing back to him and just talking his language.
All right. I'm interested to know, with all that being said, what are the goals here? Short term, long term. What is the bigger purpose?
Yeah, so my I've been
We've gone through some of the pain now. He's working longer than 9 to 5, spinning a lot of plates. It is quite strenuous, and that is why he's here. That's why he's looking for an alternative. That's the pain. So now I want to understand what he wants to get out of this. What does, excuse the pun, I've painted Hell Island, and now I'm painting Heaven Island with him. What is his desire? What is his goals?
And then he goes on about his brother's nightmare with rental properties in Brazil and how he's jumped into crypto. But Eduardo got his own game plan. He's, really focused on getting himself out of renting, buying a house by the end of the year, and starting to build up a, cash flowing property portfolio.
We had someone quite recently in the community that had only really been with us for about 18 months.
Right.
To kind of manage expectations. 18 months. They started with us with about 4 or 5 grand.
Right.
They've actually just celebrated a milestone for them of a £3 million portfolio in 18 months. So anything is possible if you know how.
Of course.
See that cheeky smile there that he gave? Just using examples and stories. Stories sell. And that was true as well. If you can get a list of success stories from your business owner, just drop them in at random times in the conversation with your prospect, and it just builds that desire that much more, because your prospect will be thinking, I want that to be me. Drop stories sell.
Eduardo, where do you want to go from here? Do you want me to run you through the A to Z and what we do? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, mate. I'll let you do the talking now. I've done most of the talk so far. So yeah, just show us, as you said, who you are, what you can offer, how we can help each other. And I just remember one more thing that you said, why I'm looking for coaches and all that. Because at the moment, I got a couple houses only. I was living in one house, so I want to not only grow that, but also be more tax efficient. Because I've seen some, people saying they can get up to $1 million tax free on commercial side. There's a lot of grey areas there, which I don't know. So I just want to have a community.
Sorry, he's talking a lot there, but I just want to highlight that pre-pitch. Where do you want to go from here? Do you want me to run you through the A to Z on everything that we do? Suggestion? Where do you want to go from here? You're maintaining authority, but still asking the question. Prospect will feel like they're in control of what is happening next. Where do you want to go from here? Want me to run you through the A to Z on what it is that we do? Where do you want to go from here?
Community, to support each other, grow, be tax efficient. I don't want to have to pay tax if I don't have to, just throw money away. No one wants to do that. I want to learn as much as I can everywhere, and potentially work with someone and grow, faster, maybe faster and even further as well.
100%. Have you got a limited company set up for property?
No, not yet. So that's what I'm saying. So I need to know what's. I've been researching it. Some people say it's worth heavy. Some people say you don't. So at the moment,
Eduardo's been hearing, mixed advice on whether setting up a limited company is really worth it for property. That's when I jumped in and told him, if you're like serious about growing your portfolio, mate, just ignore the naysayers. Setting up a company is, pretty cheap and it'll save you a lot in the long run.
So I've gone through the discovery phase. I've asked relevant questions. The discovery phase, in hindsight, probably was a little bit too short. I think in an ideal world, you kind of want to have like a 15 to 20 minute detailed discussion, and you want to be taking a lot of notes. I think watching that back, it was only so long because he was talking so much. It wasn't as deep as it should have been in hindsight, watching that back. What you can see I'm doing now is I'm starting to coach. He's given me information that I've made notes of. You don't want to get into like combative conversation, any kind of arguments with your prospects in the discovery phase, and you don't want to start coaching. I've gone through the discovery. I've gathered a load of information. I've asked if he wants to see what it is that we do. And before I go into that, I'm positioning myself as the authoritative standpoint by saying, right, the information that you've had before, I hate to tell you, but actually is wrong. And this is the actual case. I'm already coming across as the expert here, but I waited until it was the right time to do so.
So finally, I just reminded him that any investment in education like this can, really pay off in a big way at tax time, saving thousands in the long run. Now, let's get into the next phase.
How do you feel about these methods specifically?
yeah, I know, mate, they're great. I mean, like I said, that's why I was looking for a bit of coaching, because at the moment all I know was like the BRR, which also works for some people, and well, even for me so far it's been working. But as you said, even though I wasn't really into the market, and I believe they could be faster now that I'm going into it, but it's still, you're probably looking, let's say, maximum 2 properties per year tops.
Yeah.
Whereas with these options there, you've shared some likes today. I believe that I can go getting a lot more, or even more money as well, being flown with the flips and all that. So it does sound like a.
Just by asking him, how do you feel about these methods? This is at the end of the pitch, and I see so many people rattle through the pitch and then go straight into the offer, which is called an anvil drop. Never want to do that, okay? Because it just doesn't give the prospect any time to think and digest what you've said. Maybe ask questions on what it is that you're offering, and what you'll find is that the prospect will typically be left with uncertainty as a result. By asking a question like, how do you feel about these methods? How do you feel about this offer or what we promote? Do you think that it's the kind of thing that you were after? Do you think, can you see yourself going from where you currently are now to closer towards your desired goal, whatever that may be in the discovery phase? So that kind of question, it's almost like a temperature check before you get into the close or anywhere near the close. I'd call that the pre-close. You've got the pre-pitch going into the pitch, and then the pre-close is a question like that.
Perfect. You mentioned coaching there. So this is what we offer. This is what we do, right? So we offer a 3-month one-to-one mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
One-to-one, because there are so many other gurus or coaches out there that just give you the information and say, off you go. Like, which is handy if you already know what you're doing, but having the support is everything. That's what actually gets you to success. And I'm talking from experience there, because about 4 years ago, I paid about 12 grand for Samuel Leeds' course, who was taught by Vincent Wong. And I learned a lot and I got a lot of information, but I had zero support. So I didn't manage to really get anywhere.
Yeah.
So 3 months, one-to-one. What does that look like, one-to-one? Every single week at a time that suits you, can be weekends, can be evenings, whenever, at a time that suits you.
So just before I move further with the close there, I want to highlight kind of what I did. What you want to do as an overview is establish the prospect's current situation and their desired situation. Hell Island, paint Hell Island and paint Heaven Island, where they want to be. And you need to bridge the gap using your offer and your offer only. By saying other companies do this, and don't go into it too much because you'll just look like a jealous ex-partner. Do you know what I mean? You kind of just want to eliminate all other bridges to Heaven Island. So we're not like other companies that just give you a video course and say, off you go, you're on your own. These aren't group sessions. This is a one-to-one. Okay, I can do that because the offer that I sell on is a one-to-one method. But you will have a good idea what, because your prospects probably would have told you, oh, well, so-and-so is offering this. What you kind of want to do is preempt that and just eliminate that as another option.
You would meet with your coach just like we are now. No group calls, nothing like that. Literally one-to-one, your own mentor, your own coach. You'll have them on WhatsApp. So if ever you find an opportunity, you want them to calculate the market value and you already have an idea of what you think the market value is, you would maybe see if it aligns, but you could just send them on WhatsApp. They'll get back to you. Yeah. That's the value of having a coach in your corner.
Yeah.
But you have that for 3 months. I'd also invite you to join our school community where investors have paid to be a part of so that they can invest in the deals that you find. You don't need to use your own capital. Okay. But also you'll have the classroom there. And in the classroom, you've got about 100 hours of video content filmed by Vincent Wong, previous success students, coaches that are telling you how and where to find these opportunities, running you through the A to Z on how you build a portfolio, basically. And I'd also invite you to join our Inner Circle WhatsApp community, where again, a ton more of investors are in there. If Vincent's been doing this for 30 years, you can imagine what kind of contact list you grow over that amount of time. So your network is your net worth, really. And we really value the community aspect. We've had people that have been in the community for 10 years plus. So our client retention is higher than any other company. Yeah. We've got a 93% success rate, which is the highest in the industry. The only company in the UK that's listed on the stock market. You know how trustworthy and respectable you've got to be listed on the stock market.
So you have your own stock market then?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Wealth Dragons Limited is Vincent Wong's company.
What's that called?
Wealth Dragons Limited.
Wealth Dragons.
Yeah. His company is listed on the stock market. Yeah. So that in itself is incredibly respectable. And above all of that, you also get
watching this back, I think this is so wordy. It's a lot of fluff. With your offer, you don't really want to spend too much time kind of highlighting the features. You just really want to demonstrate how it's going to benefit your prospect specifically. Watching this back, it was probably way too wordy this close.
3-day masterclass with Vincent Wong himself. And I'll be honest, even if you didn't watch any of the videos on school, just spending 3 days with someone like Vincent Wong, you could probably teach property yourself after that. Any questions on all of that?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for me, and also have a couple personal questions to you guys as well. I don't mean no disrespect, but obviously just to find out. But it's like, my first question is like, if you guys are Vincent Wong and all that, you've got all that money and knowledge and all that, why are you looking to sell that support and to help people or whatever, sell courses or your services? Why would you do that?
As you probably already know by now, I am the founder of the fastest growing sales community in the UK, corporate to closer, school community. I'll put the link down below in the description. If you think you would benefit from being involved in one of the fastest growing sales communities, click that link. I'll see you inside the community. Enjoy it.
Because
good question.
Sorry, just compound the mind gold. Is it called mind gold? Yeah, like a place for you to mine gold and emeralds and all that. You would be quiet about that instead of getting, sharing with the world, right? So why are you guys looking to do that?
Yeah, it's a very cynical question, but it is one I do get. Vincent has written books that have been published by some of the biggest publishers in the world. Wiley is one of the biggest publishers in the world, published Vincent's book. Do you think that would have happened if he gatekept all of his secrets?
No.
I mean, he's helped thousands of people over the years literally change their life from going from a 9-to-5, struggling, trying to put food on the table for family, to actually leaving their job.
You might find yourself getting questions like, well, if you're so good at this, why are you sharing all the knowledge? Like, it's such a cynical question. It's so important that you aren't combative here. You don't go back with some kind of confrontational Aggie response. You have to, in a roundabout way, through a form of Socratic dialogue, just highlight how much of a stupid question that is, really. Quite simply, your boss is an entrepreneur. They are doing what they do to make money. They obviously make money out of it. Of course, by teaching you their methods and you working closely with an entrepreneur, you can get yourself out of the shit situation that you're currently in and learn from a high net worth entrepreneur. You have the opportunity to do that. Obviously, that was quite combative the way that I tabled that, but You get the idea. You want to respond to a question like that and just kind of highlight that your boss is also an entrepreneur. Like, we all go to work to make money, right?
Eduardo starts asking about the value of investing in commercial properties. He's heard that some methods can generate big returns, but I had to, set the record straight based on my experience in the field.
Very closely with the commercial team. And again, it's so important who you choose to work with, because you have to be exposed to the right information. Yeah. Commercial. Some gurus promote commercial. I'm going to tell you right now, the high streets are dying.
Yeah.
High streets are dying. Who is the biggest marketplace in the world?
Online.
Amazon. Amazon is the biggest marketplace in the world. Where's their shop? Not there. They haven't got a high street shop. And because of that, commercial rents have been going up and up and up and up. Okay. Because I'll tell you what happens. You'll buy a commercial unit and you will have an agent that lets it for you, right? And this is what happened when I saw it firsthand, because the agents that work with the commercials are crooks, quite bluntly. So what they would do is they would advertise a lower rent for the business that you would rent it to their first year, and they go, brilliant, I can afford that. And then at the end of those 12 months, they say, okay, now we've got to pay a higher rent, we've got to put a rent up. And then the business goes, oh no, I can't afford that because business hasn't been great. Why hasn't it been great? Because everyone does everything online now, and it's only going to do that more and more over time. So, okay, fine. Don't worry. We'll get a new tenant in. Don't worry about it. We'll find you a new business. They market. Same again. New business comes in. But what are you doing every time a new business comes in? You're paying the agent fees.
Giving them a fee, yeah.
I'm exploiting all the tricks of the trade here, all the secrets. I hope you're getting a lot of value from this. I'm exposing a lot of people.
It's a business for them. It's not profitable for you. I've seen so many business owners that have bought a commercial unit and have gone, I really wish I invested that money elsewhere. I just want to make you aware of the pros and cons of everything.
Yeah, of course. No, that's why I was asking this. And then the other question, as I said, the BRI is not really a very good investment. Then you don't use.
No, I'm not saying it's not a very good investment. But the people that are doing BRI, they're literally just doing it for a hobby, because I tell you what, one of my...
All I'm doing here and there is, when he's asking this method, which is known as BRR in the property industry, buy, refurbish, refinance, if he's kind of promoting that, well, not promoting that method, but he's saying, because in his mind, that's something that he wanted to do. All I'm doing is just explaining why it's not a good option for him. People do that are big time developers that have been doing it for years and years and years and bankrolled by millions and millions of pounds. They can do it. And of course it's profitable. But for an entry level property investor, it is absolutely what you shouldn't be doing that, because you just can't afford to do it, quite simply. And all I'm doing there is just creating doubt in his mind again. Doubt that he could go off and do this on his own. Creating doubt in his mind that he can't do this on his own, and just need support from, quite simply, people that have done this over and over and over again and built generational wealth as a result of it.
Methods seems to be like a faster, maybe not faster, but can give you more return, maybe even easier, or faster in a way than the actual BRI. The only reason why I ask is because I actually like doing that as well, not the thing, but as I said, I'm an electrician, and I've got contacts because my father-in-law, he's got a company, he's got 5 builders working with him, and I'm involved quite a lot. So potentially by getting a couple of properties, I'm creating work for his men, for my father-in-law, and obviously I can get a cheaper rate as well on the actual labor, because he's my father-in-law, and we work together. So essentially, let's say I had to pay 10 grand to renovate, with him I'd pay 7. You know what I mean? So I'm even making more money as well and helping him. So it could work a long way. But as I said, I can sort of mix the two together, do that, get the investor, buy this and that, and rather than just making that 80k, as you said, and not touching, if I see there is a room to be made to make it 350, I could potentially do that as well.
100%. 100%. That's exactly what you can do. And you would be upping those profits a little bit. Remember, any property is a good investment if you get it at the right price anyway. But 100%, you could do that.
And the other question as well is, as I said, because I'm already looking at a couple houses to buy down here, because for me to actually move in, I want to get out of the rent. Is it worth, as I said, maybe waiting to see like this below the market and whatever? Because then I could even, instead of going to the market right now, I've been looking at so many, they're all like expensive and a lot of times not that nice. But I was already sort of compromising. I had a discussion with my wife, and she said, we need to compromise somewhere, because a lot of the houses have a higher like the good conditions that we really like, that's like way above. It's really expensive at the moment. And I said, I just want to come out of rent, so let's get something smaller, so we come out of rent for now and then sort out later on. But essentially we could look into that to go into a house. That's my question. So say I get an investor, do that as a cash buy or whatever, instead of getting someone to do it to remortgage it as a buy to let to put someone. Can I remortgage it as a residential for me?
100%. So what I would say for you is the first goal that you do, and remember, in this 3 months, your coach works with you to find a minimum of 2 profitable deals. Eduardo, if one of those is going to be your family home,
understanding his goal, where he really wants to be. So this guy basically, he just wanted to buy his his family home in a new location that he lives now, which is down in the south of the country, down in like Devon and Somerset. So he just wanted his family home to be one of the first deals that he secured with the methods that we promote. But I established that in the discovery phase of the call. And now I'm just bringing that back to the forefront of his mind that is an option for him. And that is 100% the short-term goal. So kind of getting him to relive that and just bringing it back to the forefront of his mind. Remember, this is what you wanted.
Already your first box ticked.
Yeah, that's what I want to do first. That's the main thing, because I want to come out of the rent ASAP. And if obviously I get a good house for a cheaper price, then happy days. Even if I have to do some building and remodeling or whatever.
Right. So let's say if you found the property through using our methods and with our help at 220, for example, raised investor finance, yeah, which again with our help, refinanced it at 3, or you bought it at 220, very quickly put in new kitchen, new bathroom, yeah, did a quick renovation for maybe 1 to 2 months, like that kind of project, refinanced it at a higher price, whatever, 300k, gave the investor back 240, whatever, so they made it, but now you've got a property that you didn't spend any money in, and you still got 60k equity in that house.
Yeah.
But that's now your family home. Yeah. On to the next one.
Fair enough. And then the question is, all these deals that you do, the BMV, do you always go with the investor as a cash buyer? Or can you...
the investor would have to be a cash buyer.
No, I understand, yeah, but I mean, like, what was the BMV called standard for now again?
BMV or OPM, so below market value. Or
below market. So obviously, I found a below market value house. Does that below market house has to be paid in cash? That's what I mean.
No, not necessarily. No, if you've got 22k, you've got 10%.
Because that's my question. Yeah, that's why that's why I'm asking this, because, for example, I appreciate that obviously with the investor, I might be able to get a better house, bigger, pay cash, maybe offer a better deal for the actual seller, and maybe a better deal of price. But right now, I already got the money, and because at the same time, I'm having the investor to help me, but I'm also paying them 20k, as you said. So, do you understand? So I'm trying to make as much profit as I can, especially for my first house. So my question is, if I get on Monday, I'm going to have 60k. Next Monday, I'm going to have 60k in my pocket, and because I'm raising that equity from my house. So in a way, if I could find a below market house,
100%, that makes so much sense, and I would probably recommend that. That is what you do, especially to take on your own projects.
Yeah.
Later down the line, number 3, number 4.
I have my house and I no longer have that 60k. Then I will rely on the investor to get more and more houses. Then I want that. I'm not saying that I'm not going to use the investors. I'm happy to use them. That's what's going to boost my portfolio. But I'm just thinking right now, if I have to, then as you said, it's not my money, happy days. But if I can make that extra 20 grand because I already have some cash, as I said, I'm not starting with £1,000. I have that investment for me to use right now, and I want the benefit of that. So I'm getting myself that 20k then rather than giving it to the investor.
You can see that this guy is interested. He's talking a lot. He's asking a lot of questions. He's making the right noises, but will he commit?
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. You're coming into that money next week and you see this and we're here having this meeting. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, of course. This is God's way. That's what I believe.
It's 100% God's way. 100% God's way. So where do you want to go from here?
Where do you want to go from here? I think using tonality and vocabulary like that, where do you want to go from here? It's just like reminding the prospect, look, we're here for a reason, and where do you want to go from here? We've established that everything that I've showed you is what you need to get you from where you are currently to your desired outcome. Look, where do you want to go from here?
Listen, I believe in alignment, and I mentioned our success rate is 93%. It's the highest in the industry. So look, we obviously can only really work with people that 100% want to do this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So look, let's just say we've gone through a lot this morning, but where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10?
This is a temp check, what I'm about to do here. I'm basically just recapping, saying, look, we've covered a lot, but that being said, where do you want to go from here? On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say, how do you feel about these methods? Do you think they can get you to where you want to be? It's good to do a temp check, because if you kind of roll straight from the pitch straight to your offer and then drop the investment at the end, you're just doing what's called an anvil drop. And most clients will just be like, all right, information overload. I need to go away and think about it. But it's very rare that people are going to invest with you after you anvil drop the price. So it's good to do a temp check just to see kind of where they are, because if they say on a scale of 1 to 10, which you'll see I do here, if they kind of give you like a 6 or 7, hats off to you if you drop the investment and they pay. Like, they're not ready. So there's still work to do if they do that. If they say, this is perfect for me, I'm at an 8 or a 9 or a 9, or they go, 10 out of 10, I love it, you want to ask them why. What do you love about it? You want them to start convincing themselves why it's perfect for them. So that's the importance of doing a temperature check at this stage.
1, come on, Jake, it's still bank holiday, I want to get on with my day. Or 10, these methods could probably work for me and get me to where I want to be. Where would you say you are?
100%, mate. Like I said, I'm be with you, be with someone else, or be by myself. My target is by the end of the year, if I can get the below market, then obviously that's what I want. But even if I didn't, I can't stay on the rent, so I need to come out of this. This is my side. That's it. Even if I have to pay the more expensive, which I don't, that's why I'm researching you guys. But by the end of the year, I'm already prophesying, to myself that will happen. I'll be on my new house and out of the rent by the end of the year, and grow BRRs or whatever. But obviously, I quite like what I have to offer. And yeah, 100%, mate. I'm going down that route.
Perfect. All right. I mentioned a couple of other of the gurus or the bigger gurus out there. So you get lifetime access to all of this as well. Yeah. So you get lifetime access to the school community, to the WhatsApp community. So you'll have access to the investors indefinitely. So you can always do deals with them. But I mentioned
what about sorry, mate, a quick one. So where do I find my BMVs, the below market houses? Do you have a place that we can find them?
This is what we're teaching. And we've had people that have secured deals within the first 2-3 days being in the community. I want to manage expectations. Most people find their first deal within week 2 and 5 of this 12 weeks. They find their first deal within week 2 and 5, just to manage expectations. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you'll have lifetime access to all of this, as I say.
In hindsight, I've completely swerved that question and basically kind of just hit him with value elsewhere in the offer. Like, I'm going to say almost unintentionally there, or subconsciously, but when people are asking you questions at the close, the last thing you want to do is like some 5-minute monologue or tell them a fucking story that's going to last like 5 minutes plus. You, at this stage, you kind of just want like almost one-word answers, relatively vague. You kind of just want to be like short and sharp, really. You don't want to be talking a lot at this stage. And you'll notice, I think from memory, I spoke quite a bit here, so it wasn't a fantastic end to this call.
Now, I mentioned Samuel Leeds charges £12,000, Rob Moore property charges £20,000, Vincent Wong, the mentor's mentor, for lifetime access is just £6,800 including VAT. I mentioned including VAT. Remember, I said once you've got the company set up, you can claim the VAT back, which actually makes it like 5,600, something like that.
Leading into that price drop there, I did that quite well. If you can partner numbers with a price drop, kind of just dress it up the offer, just makes it look a little bit more appealing. For example, like kind of like I did there, where I know as well as he does, because he had looked at other offers before, that this company charges this much and then this company charges this much. I know that we do it for almost half the price and offer a much better service, which he knows as well. So that kind of worked quite well because both of the other prices are so much higher. So it immediately kind of highlights the value of our offer. But another way that you can do it is if they told you in the discovery phase, like a lot of people do, they want to kind of be making 10 grand a month, you can quite simply say, so to get to the 10 grand a month mark, 120 grand a year, it's just 5k, because those numbers before that benefit them are so much bigger. And then when you just drop the investment, which just seems tiny in comparison to what they'd be making per year.
And so as you said, every week you're gonna have a meeting and a guarantee. That's what obviously I'm saying. A guarantee for that you help at least for the next 2 within that 3 months. If nothing happens in that 3 months, you'll carry on until I get another deal.
Exactly that. Exactly.
So what happens after the 3 months? Let's say I get two or even 3 deals in the 3 months. At that point, do you have to renew that thing, or or obviously I might not even want it, or do you always recommend it? How do you do a yearly thing? How does it work?
Yeah. So yes, there is another option that you can do after that point. After that point, if you really love the community and you want to stay in closer, there is an option where Vincent becomes your coach and you just meet with Vincent moving forward. But we'll discuss that down the line. I'll be completely honest with you. If you love having the support there, then do something like that. But I'll be honest, if you found 2 or 3 deals, you're going to still be in a community anyway. So you can still communicate with your coach. You can still communicate with everyone else. If you found 2 or 3 deals, there's nothing stopping you from finding 5, 6, 7. You can do it on your own.
If I'm already where I am now and I've done it by myself, so I got as you said, I have
exactly
a bit of a knowledge here and there.
I would recommend.
My question is, for example, after the 3 months and the 2 deals, let's say, will I still have like access to the network, to the knowledge, to the market,
Yes.
everything? So it's like a lifetime.
You have lifetime access to that. The only thing that's 3 months is just those 12 meetings with the
Support
coach.
of you guys. Okay. You
Yeah,
have to make
and
sure
that is support and that is accountability, because every week they're going to say, okay, fine, what have we learned? Perfect. All right, now I'm going to set you homework to do this, this, and this week. Let's speak next week. So you have to do it. You see what I mean? And this is the problem when other gurus are just going, there's all the information, off you go.
you have to go and do it yourself.
You'll do it for 2 weeks, but like anything with motivation won't stay with you forever. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent. And that is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Consistency every week, meeting.
And that's fine. And obviously that money that we going back to the investors or even the flips and all that, that money always, because we refinance, that money always come back in the pockets, doesn't it? Like as a cash.
Yes, 100%. So most people end up paying, if you were to split the payments, most people are seeing profits by the end of the 3 months. Makes sense?
Yeah. And these fees that you have.
Most people do pay it up front, I'll be honest, but that's not always practical for everyone. I appreciate that some people, for cash flow purposes, might want to split the payments. You can split the payments, do half at the front and half right at the end, or you could do 3 smaller payments. It's whatever's easiest for you.
In hindsight, watching that back, I probably offered up that payment plan a little bit too easily, a little bit too quickly. When someone asks questions like that, alluding to, can I break these payments down? You kind of want to check back in and just see that they're still there and they're still 110% kind of on it and want to do this before you even entertain. Because look, you ideally want to get it paid in full, of course, but for you dropping it down and saying, well, you can break these up, you can do payment plans. It's like, in a roundabout way, it's kind of like you starting to negotiate now. And as soon as you start really doing that willingly, you almost look a little bit desperate, and no one buys from anyone that's desperate. So what I would have done here in hindsight is I would have kind of re-temp checked and just said like, well, look, before we even discuss any of that, is this 100% what you want to do? No, but like, seriously? Okay, why? Like, help me understand why you really want to do this. Something like that, just to get them gassed again. And then you can, of course, briefly touch base on, you can split the payments up and you can see the way that I articulate that. But I probably would have rechecked in that this is 100% for him.
That's fine, mate. Yeah, obviously, just to find out how you deal with that, especially because I said it depends on what I'll find. But if my main goal would probably be finding my residential house, as I said, not use that investor. So if I'm not using that investor, I need as much cash I have right now. So probably I might have to divide at least in 2 payments. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to find out on that. That's fine. So a couple of payments, just taking notes. So yeah, I'll have to. I'm still waiting for that cash to come next week, and I also need to discuss that with my wife and the family. I think it is reasonable. You know, I'm interested. What do you think is the next step? How do we go forward with this? Once I make a decision, obviously, that is.
He needs to wait for money to even come in. So in a roundabout way, as a money objection, and he needs to speak to his wife objection, partner objection.
All right. So what you could potentially do is put down a smaller deposit and get started. And when I say get started, you'll have access to the school community.
Yeah.
You can actually start learning. Now, I want to flag 2 things for you here. With any agreement, you have a 14-day cooling off period anyway.
Okay.
So you can get started, and we're going to stay in contact anyway. And if in 2 weeks you don't really like it, or you feel like it's taking too much time or too much focus, we can just cut ties and go our separate ways. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
So you can do that. Alternatively, you can just start with like a smaller deposit, like a refundable deposit, and get access to just the school community. And again, just start learning there if you wanted to do that. And then when you were happy and had access to maybe more funds, you could start your coaching properly, if that's next week or whatever. It's up to you.
No, that's fine, mate. No worries. That sounds good. Yeah. As I said, what I'll do, I'm pretty confident I'll probably go ahead, being honest with you. But as I said, I just need to run down everything that we discussed here with my wife. You know, I believe that, you know, when you're married, you are chewing one. So I can't just make a decision by myself. It's not like asking for permission, but having a conversation and making sure that we're both happy to go down that route, which we are. We are definitely happy to go into the houses, and we've already discussed the aim, which is by the end of the year, have those 2 houses, and in a couple, 2-3 years, be out of my main job. Who knows? If God willing, we may even come out of that job sooner if I'm making those deals to 20, 30k each deal. That's already my salary there, so I could potentially risk coming out of the job, which is my aim. But yeah, we'll have a discussion. I'll explain to her, not in deep details, but how this works and how the money. As I said, I'm paying 6,800, which is already with the VAT. I need to register for the company as well, so I've got a bit of work to do on my end. And then, but I can claim that back to back. And then, yeah, so essentially I'm paying that money, but if I get the two flips or whatever, the two property deals, then I'm making that money anyway on inside, and hope, and even better, moving into our own house, which is what we want. My only last question is, there are on these markets that you guys have to find the place that we find the deals. Do you have like houses down here around this area? Because as I said, my first one that I'm looking for is for me to move in, so I need to have something around here. I don't mind after that having houses anyway. Like I've got a friend that lives in Manchester. I was already looking at a couple houses for a buy to let there. They have really good prices there, like 100. There are houses worth 120k at the moment, which needs about 40k. Excuse me, being put in them, and then they are probably worth around 200k. So I've already found a couple of deals myself with the BRR that is that I was going to do up in Manchester. So I don't mind going anywhere in the country. As you said, you know, every property deal is good if you find them in the right place, and I believe that. But probably the first one I want it to be here, so I can actually move into the house. Unless I really find something way better, then I don't mind doing the other first and coming back to mine.
Yeah. I mean, we're all over the country. But what I would recommend to you is just kind of focusing local, and I would focus in Somerset. Yeah, for now. Do you think that seeing is believing?
Well, not really, to be honest. Are you asking it to a faith, mate?
What kind of question is that to a religious person? Seeing is believing. I really didn't think that one through.
Truly, yes. But truly, I believe that obvly, like I have the faith, and you know, I see God's thing. But if I did see him personally, that would be even better.
Yeah. I certainly should have been clear there. That was a bad. I worded that very badly. Although that does work a lot better for me. Yeah, when religion is on the cards, that's probably not the best question.
No, I understand.
I mean materially, of course. What I'm saying is, if you're to go and explain everything that we've just discussed to your wife, look, you're an intelligent man, but respectfully, you're not going to be able to explain it as well as I have. Yeah. You know her better than anyone else in the world. What do you reckon she would say if she was in this meeting?
If she was in the meeting and she understood the same knowledge, because I mean, you've got to understand the background as well, if she doesn't as much. But yeah, she would, I would say the same as me. You know, if she had the same understanding as me on this, not that I'm better, but obviously I've researched more. Yep. And then she wanted the same do pretty much as me. You know, we'd both feel confident to go. But again, you know, she at the end of the day trusts me as well. I obviously just got to run down with her about everything that we discuss here, because you know, we always have to do things together. That's my main question. But even if she didn't understand, I know her as my partner for the past 13 years. She'll say, you know, if you've obviously done the research, you're happy with it, and I'm down with you. So at the end of the day, it's still my decision. Yep. But I need to actually have those discussions and make sure that we're happy, both on board.
A lot of guys like have ego in this position where, although they've hit you with a partner objection, they kind of don't want to make it seem like they're asking for permission. Do you know what I mean? And a partner objection can be one of the hardest to maneuver. It's like, look, mate, it's not my decision. It's my wife or my husband. We're a team. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can be quite a hard one to get around. So I think it's quite a good question to ask. Well, look, you know your partner better than anyone else in the world. You kind of want to get into property, but look, if your partner had been here this whole time in this meeting, what would they be saying? It's very hard for them to respond to that with no. They wouldn't be interested. Like, because the reality is, if they are the person you're speaking to, your partner probably also would be. You know, it's almost like exposing. Is this a lie or genuine?
That we're happy, both on board.
Of course, yeah, certainly before you made a big commitment. But that's why I kind of wanted to offer again. I would have much lower deposit. I'd love to do it for free, but with a much lower deposit.
Yeah,
I can give you access to school and you can show her.
Sounds good. What would that be?
I could do that for 500 and it's refundable.
Right.
But I could get you access to school. You can both have a look through, and then we'll catch up whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
and see if it's something you want to do.
Yeah, that might sound more what's the word, appealing to her. Because as I said, I have that understanding that she might not have, and then if I say no, but it's risk free because we're having a 500 deposit, which is refundable if I give up in 14 days, which I know I want, but I can obviously say that, then we can get that money back, and if we're not happy, just take that back. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
But this is for you. This is for you to do now.
Oh, you mean right now?
Yeah, that's for you to show her.
Okay.
And that could just be between me and you. If you didn't want to do it like that, that could just be like, well, look, this is, you can decide everything, and here's the school community. And if she goes, Eduardo, this is rubbish, I don't want you doing this, then you can message me back and be like, yeah, Jake, it's not good. She's not happy. Refund that 500 and we just go separate ways if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
So that was a deposit close. He is a really, really nice guy. So he ended up putting down a £500 deposit. Since then, he's paid in full for the program. And as a result of that, he's ended up finding, I think, 3 or 4 deals in his first 2-3 months working with the business. So he's found great success there, which, to be honest with you, I think is the most important thing. You've got to remember, like, as much as we are closers and salespeople, we're here to help ultimately. And I would like to think that if you're speaking to a prospect that hasn't got a pot to piss in and really can't afford to do whatever it is you're offering, ethics would kick in and you wouldn't push that prospect forward to hang them upside down for their lunch money, so to speak. So a deposit close can be really successful for you if you use it correctly. I hope that was helpful to see. And if you want to implement any of those strategies in your calls, feel free to do so. Also, if you want to drop me a message privately, please do so. Maybe comment down below if you have any further thoughts on this video or you would have done anything differently. Then drop the comments down below. Take care. See you in the next one.